I'm in my WeWork. I'm in one of these like little cell phone pods. You know
Hmm.
what I mean, in this co-working space. So I'm sure someone will knock on my door. But hello, welcome everyone. We have John and Jerry. We've got JJ from Method Development here um, live via past recording to talk about the Luxe Aire. How's it going, guys? TGI Tuesday.
TGI.
Tuesday. I think we rolled back a day.
Wait, TGI Wednesday. Oh no.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
good start, man.
Well,
We're off to a good
yeah,
start.
good start. We're off. We're
He's
off.
already made the time machine.
I know it's working. I I wanted to again. I'm not really an industry guy, so I appreciate you taking some time, mostly just for my personal curiosity on a lot of things, and then we'll put on YouTube and we'll see what people think. But I think people are very curious. It's kind of some details are disseminating out there very slowly. I think the people want to know. The people have some questions, and I've elected myself a representative of the people, and I have to
I was
ask you
about to
these
say,
questions
by the people, you
about
mean Nick, right?
me. I have elected myself to represent myself. Um, I know and I guess as all journalists should, true, real paintball journalists, I should list all of my implicit biases, which is I know both of you from outside of this video call. Jared and I talk a little bit about stuff. John and I talk a little bit about stuff. Do you promise that you're going to be honest, even though we have, you know, a relationship outside of this video?
Yeah, since we both agree on Focal audio being supreme,
Okay,
audiophile equipment, yeah, I'll be
sure.
honest.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and
Um,
I am your best friend, but you're just my okay friend.
well, here's the thing. At the end of this call, I will be re-voting on who my new best friend is. So the stakes are very high for both of you as well.
Okay.
Um,
Uh, that's
so
fair.
here we are. We are post World Cup 2025, and Lux has done the impossible. They've made a good paintball gun, and people are, excited about it. And I think that is due in large part to method development. And I think everyone was probably assuming that two, career engineers, one of which with a PhD, were probably going to make bolt pins and shit for the rest of their lives. Probably no higher aspirations than, chintzy G6R parts, little donuts for Bob's. But surprise, surprise, that was not the end game for method development. It was, what we see here. And not that it's your first project, but I feel like this is the most illustrious so far. Like this is kind of the big. This is like the big. I know individually, personally, you've had, John, you've had some big projects in the paintball industry, but as Method, right? We are here with the Luxe Aire, the new baby from Method Development. Um, and I don't want to. I'm like, did you guys know that it takes a lot of cues from the arc system and the primer core? Like sure, we can do all of that, no doubt. You know what I mean? But the thing that was interesting to me is that Smart Parts has been kind of a holdover for a long, long time on a lot of industry things. You know what I mean? And it seems like they've released a non-iterative Lux upgrade. They took some feedback, they took some data points, and they made a paintball gun that people actually want. Was that something they wanted to do and then they hired you to do it? Or did they hire you and you're like, here's what we need to do? Like, who was that?
I think it was the latter. I think they came to us and stated, "We're obviously not hitting the mark. Help us hit the mark." And that's kind of where we started. And from there, it
Okay.
was a relationship in terms of we gave them our ideas. They mainly took 99.99% of them, and then there were key things that they wanted to see. So we incorporated those key things, and round we go.
So, what was the design brief for the Air? Because I know they came to you and said, hey, everyone hates the idol. We need to make a paintball gun that people like. So where do you
Mm-hmm.
start on that?
I think
Did you
when they
start
came
it?
to
Yeah.
us, no, I think when they came to us up front, uh, I think they really kind of realized that they had taken a detour from what made them popular in the first place. So
Yeah.
as you mentioned, there was a lot of holdovers. So even the Lux brand was basically a continuation from the old Shocker platform. So the Shocker SFT,
Yeah.
NXT, and then that valve train made its way into the Lux. Um, and that was always popular because it was a super soft shooting platform. Well,
It it
as
was
kind of the
deluxe. You can't
yeah,
have a gun
it
that is
was.
deluxe that shoots like shit. Like it's counter, it's counterintuitive. It's not nice if it's bad.
Well, so that was kind of the interesting thing is like as the market started demanding more high-end mechs and looking to reliability, obviously they went a direction that Jared and I aren't particularly fond of, and they went Gamma 2, right?
Sure.
And so I think really the start of this project was the realization that we needed to do something other than a hashtag Me Too project with the Gamma.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was there, so it's good that you were given some room to change things, right? I'm sure the design brief was we need a new engine that is, let's go back to the roots, but it has to be reliable, something along there.
Mhm.
Was there anything you weren't allowed to change? Like in your design brief, they're like, listen, it's got to be a Lux, so it's got to have a little Q-lock feed neck. We're not doing Empire mount. The only standard that you're not allowed to hit is an Empire mount
Yeah,
feed neck now.
no, it was the thing we weren't allowed to change at the start was the detents, and Jared changed it anyway. So, yeah, there
I
was
mean, those
that
old detents are like 10 parts. Like under those, there's 100 things under those eye covers. So I think that's correct. Like, cooler heads prevail.
for
I
sure.
I was looking at them. They seem, and again, they seem a little J4 torquey. The detents. They look like the little knees, the little
Mm,
ankles.
they're
Yeah, so
different.
the bridge style detents.
Yeah.
One of the problems with, and I don't want to say loosely problem, but the J4 detents actually leave a void behind the bridge. And one of our goals that Jared and I wanted to incorporate into this platform was we wanted to have a fully sealed breech. So
Sure.
you can't implement the J4 style detent exactly, and so that was influential, but it wasn't directly applicable. So Jared
Sure.
had to innovate a way to get the holding force, the reliability, all the things that you need out of a detent,
Yeah.
while uh, giving us the sealed breech.
Do you think that's going to trickle down into like future shockers and ecstasies or whatever? Like, is this kind of their new Halo product, like their F1 car, and like is everything going to have sealed breaches, or is this kind of Lux is doing their own thing right now? Because it's like I worry because I remember like the '09 Impulse. It took those like Splatmaster detents. It was one gun that used one detent, and then that was it. And then you can't get them, and they're all made out of goo now. And it's like, okay, the Lux has crazy detents now, and that's it. Like I'm not a Planet Eclipse guy, but they've been using that detent for 600 years. Like that does kind of rock. Like are we switching over to idle to air detents?
I don't know the future from here on out, but I can tell you,
Sure.
I don't think they're going backwards.
I I guess that's probably a safe bet. That's
And
probably true.
I think on year 601, Planet should take note of this detent and maybe adopt it. So,
We're all about industry standards
I
that
think
people don't
it's
care about, right? Like
you
the
should
things that
propose
you
one.
don't.
Let's have Lux make an industry. Let's have the D10 be the industry standard. You know what? Better yet, what if the industry standard for D10s was like an O-ring, but like the geometry's wrong and then it just breaks paint all the time? Like I think that's a really good standard for D10s. Did you consider that making it bad on purpose as a design choice? Was that
wasn't me. Wasn't me.
no? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so okay. So we got new detents, we got a new drivetrain. But the thing that I liked, because I'm mostly my brother, I was a Bob guy, and then my brother was a Lux guy. Like that Lux One came out, I was a big, we all followed CS 900 doing the shucks on PB Nation. You know what I mean? Like we all love the Lux. We had a one and a two and an ice, and I hated that the eyes were ribbon. I hated that it wasn't autococker threads. I hated that the reg adjustment was an eighth inch. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh
hated
yeah.
that, like all of these things. And it looks. I don't know if you, how many of those have we standardized now? What's the reg adjustment? You know, it looks like it is cocker threaded.
Mhm.
Like you hit everything. I think you got. Did you get? Or is it eye ribbons still, or is it
Everything you hated, we also hated. So eighth
sick?
inch, cocker thread,
Yeah,
eye
badass.
eye wires down to, and
Cool.
they're short, so they just
Yeah.
go into an upper board.
I mean, you said that they let you do 99% of stuff. What was, and we hit all the good stuff. What couldn't you do? What was the last thing?
It's not like they didn't let us do it. It's more like they wanted something that we didn't
I
necessarily
see.
care about, right? And it's their product, so obviously it's important to them. It's important to us.
That's
So
fair. It's a good
the
Hmm.
answer.
metal foregrip on the front was
Yeah.
something they had to have, and
I mean, I
yeah,
agree. And I think that actually you're wrong for not caring about that. Like, that's absolutely
should have.
correct to
There was
have to
another
have
thing
that.
that we were wrong on too, and it was the rechargeable battery, the single, and we fought them so hard to
I
use a
think that's
double A,
badass
two double
too.
A's. Yeah,
Two
we
double
fought them.
A's
Yeah.
is
Jared's
badass.
being humble.
But
I was being the dick, and and they all they
But I
all
will
proved
say,
me wrong. So
like
well, I think you
after
did
that,
the foregrip in an interesting way. That was going to be one of my comments because I know that the price point is so much lower than everyone now, even in a post tariff society. And
yeah.
it has to be because they're not just machining this whole thing out of billet. Like it's probably an
Mm,
extrusion now because they don't have that foregrip that they have to do in that one piece. Like that has to help, right?
I don't think it comes down to manufacturing why
Oh,
they're costing so low. I think it's
I see.
because they're just trying to market
Trying
to
to
the
get out there.
consumer. Yeah.
Well, I love that even more then. Great.
So, like, here's the grip for this one, right? This is
Yeah,
the MMXR. It's just what I have, right? But you can
sure.
see how much wider the MXR
Yeah.
grip. I mean, it's. Let me go
I
backwards.
think you're correct. It's the
It's a good amount
last
wider.
regular sized foregrip. Because I will always be a Lux guy because I hate like over molded big rubber bullshit on paintball guns, you know?
Hmm.
And I think that front grip keeps it svelte, keeps it, man and machine interacting together. You know what I mean? Like you're touching some metal. It's not a toy. So I think that is
And
important. I
that
think
was
that's the
important to
correct
them
move.
too, right? So,
Yeah.
and
I'm
who's better to know what Lux is than Lux? So, I mean,
right. Well, I mean,
right.
yeah.
yes and no, because they also did release the idol. You know what I mean? So, I wouldn't
Well, the
say
Idol was an
100%.
iteration on the TM40, right?
Yeah,
It wasn't like ground up. It
sure.
wasn't a new platform. It was like I would have probably called it something like the TM40 Plus or something like that. If and
Yeah.
that's just a marketing thing, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's true. I
but
mean, I do like that this is non-iterative. I think is there anything that's carried over, save the feed neck,
two
really?
things.
I mean,
Not even
let
the
me
feedback
guess.
is all carryover.
Oh, feed neck,
It's just
no. Did you
no, it's
The
the
do
only
feet
thing,
neck threaded piece,
the
the
thread?
collar.
no, not even that now, John. Because oh no, the collar is the sleeve
Yeah,
is
the
not.
inner
Because
collar.
did you
Yeah,
do did you do like
it's
a
not.
method style feed neck where the anchor is like a square
Hmm.
so it doesn't yeah,
Yeah,
okay, sick.
it is like hold it from the so
Badass.
doesn't
Wow. But
it
why don't
doesn't
you just have
use
like a
it's
notch and like a keying thing, like so
it's like a
slick.
D shape,
Sick.
it's like a D shape instead of a
Yeah.
round shape. It's really simple. Uh, but what I hated is on like any other gun, you grab your $2,000 gun and your lever from the side and you get it, just scratches
Yeah.
a 1 inch scratch
Truly.
on the side of your gun.
So one point, Nick, that you were kind of talking about. So part of the challenge on the foregrip is, yes, we want in metal, but on most guns that have the metal foregrip, you end up with sharp edges on the backside. So if you're a
Sure.
player that holds up high, that tends to tear your thumb up. And so for us, um, we found that the way that we went was the proper compromise because it
Yeah.
puts the soft spot over where it's traditionally been very hard to get nice smooth
Yeah.
surfaces. But up front, where you're gripping and the core of this is all metal, so there is no like flex or you know chintzy feel or whatever. Can I say chintzy?
You could say chintzy. Can't is that is it a chintzy a
I don't
slur?
know.
Oh no.
I don't know. I'm not PC. I need
Yeah,
somebody
right.
else to tell me. So,
Uh, I mean, it does make me realize that you guys are old though, because most people kind of hold the bottom of the you know what I mean? Like it. That's how I like to hold it. So that's
I
nice
mean,
for me, to be
it just
honest.
holds really well, Nick. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Hell yeah. I I do think the funniest thing about the Air is that the ASA looks like when you ask like AI to generate a paintball gun. It's like so small and like just like this little duckbill, little swoopy little thing down there.
it
The
plays with your
ASA,
eyes. And many people have brought this up.
yeah,
It plays with your eyes
it
because
does.
this
It
is
doesn't.
flat, but the tank looks like that. So it's very streamlined. It's like
I
very
know it
streamlined.
looks fake. It looks like a render in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh,
It is
and what
optical,
most people
truly.
don't know. So when you let me pop this off, show you real fast. Pop off its grips. The ASA is like fairly tall. It goes up inside.
Oh yeah.
Goes up inside and up here, and
You know,
this is hogged away. So the grip is covering down here. So the
I
ASA is
see.
up here. So they've done a great job, and they did cosmetics. So they did a great job on including this like lower finger into
Yeah,
this, and not just hanging out an ASA just all the way to here, right?
right.
So they went the
I
extra
think
mile, you know.
functionally, great ASA because I don't like setting a lux down and then the lever. You can't because of the lever,
Yeah,
right? So I think it's. I'm
that
trying to think of
yeah.
anything that I dislike has remained. You know, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think so. To be honest, okay. Here's the only thing that I understand was a trade off, and I think it was necessary, which is I always liked on like the Lux and kind of on like the die stuff, but more so on the Lux, is that there's just no screws. You don't see a screw anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And like on this one though, you do see the little axle on the trigger, which I count as a screw. But
Mm-hmm.
I think a necessary evil because now we have a trigger shoe standard effectively. Like I guarantee you, with a little bit of
Nick,
Dremel, I can put an MXR trigger on there. You
you're
know?
thinking you're thinking all wrong. This is an opportunity to
Yeah.
show brass like you love to do, some brass or
Hey, you're right.
titanium.
Wow, a little titanium axle. I
Yeah,
right. It's like a little tank dangle. You can bling out your little trigger section, put a little exotic metal in there.
yeah. Uh, and that point, and John taught me this very early on. This section gets
Yeah,
so small, congested that keeping the lux angle here, it fights you in all
yeah.
3D geometry space in that one area. So,
I mean,
uh,
it does look like a Lux in the trigger frame because pre-announcement, knowing the scope of kind of what's going into it, it is a fear because if it doesn't look like a Lux, then like who cares, right? Like it doesn't mean anything then. And I think you've done a pretty good job. Like I there's nothing I hate more than looks like blah 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 and blah 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 had a baby. Like I do. I fuck it drives me bananas. You know what I
Drives
mean?
John insane too. And
It's
it's stupid.
It does.
It's always dumb to go that route because it's like let's say cars for instance, right? Oh, the
yeah.
new
Mhm.
Mustang looks like a Camaro. Well, then you go back when the Camaro came out, looks like a Mustang, and so it's like, okay, well, where do you draw your
Right.
line that you're saying in time what looks like
Here's the
what?
thing. I'm not thinking about it that way, dipshit. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm just
Yeah,
saying it. Like, right.
yeah. It's like
I
at some point people copied themselves somehow, and
right.
it's a really weird analogy to use.
I mean, it does look like a Lux. I think you've got. I mean, I don't think it really borrows too much. I think I'm getting a little bit like 2019 Vapor vibes, to be honest with you, in some spots. You know,
I think the milling is very organic and swooshy, and
finally, right.
yeah,
You know,
it looks dope. Looks really good.
I
So
thought
it's
the
And
idle was
funny.
a little
we
too
didn't do
aggro.
cosmetics, right? Lux did the
Sure.
looks of the gun, right? So if it doesn't look Lux, it's because Lux did it. So it's them. Oh, it's themselves. But the reason they did it, therefore it is Lux.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So it is interesting. One of the things that you had talked about is maintaining some sort of like visual brand identity. And there were a couple areas on this marker that I would say that function kind of followed form. And
Sure.
two of the areas specifically were that we wanted this type of function on the
Has
back
to.
cap. Uh,
Absolutely.
the way that it does that is totally different. It's far simpler. So for people who are going to anodize their marker after the fact, that's a far simplified area. And then one of the other key areas is if you've noticed that the European markers have kind of gone to where the grip covers the eye
Yeah.
covers, right? And it was kind of important to us for the eye cover itself to have separation, visual separation
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
grip, right? So we went through pretty exhaustive links to make sure that that one little strip of metal remained, so that it kind of carried forward that Lux,
It's got that classic Lux
characteristic.
midline. Yeah.
Yeah, and those were two like pretty significant areas that we basically put our you know our feet in the dirt and said we're not gonna move off this. So
I mean, was there anything that because I know the main emphasis was the drivetrain. Very exciting. So I mean, let's just give you got to let me do some rapid fire just for the people at home. What the efficiency is probably fine, probably 10, 11, 12 pods, right? Like, is it fine? Like, are we gonna, should we keep crying about it? Like, it's fine, right? Like, do we just,
we've been hitting 12 pods pretty reliably
sure,
or pretty
great,
consistently.
let it
So
go. It's regular,
yeah, it's
got it.
It's
Okay.
6 pods. Yep.
6 pods.
may the
Running
force
well with
be with
60.
you.
Is the back cap still, does it still vent with the redesign or no? Okay,
Doesn't
cool.
need
Mm-mm.
to.
So when you degas the marker, it now purges that final
Sick.
shot. So there's no reason.
Is my only other, so here's where I am in the market, right? Is that I thought the idle, previous iterations of the Lux, with that mechanism in the back of the frame for toolless frame release, right? For mech conversion. I thought it was chintzy, overdone, German-esque. You know what I mean? Too many levers, too many, you know what I mean? It's overdone, and my front one never fucking worked. It was dog shit in a very real sense, but also it was cool that it was toolless. But then it's like you had to swap the valve, right? So it's actually more steps than just doing two screws. Is I don't know if the mech has been announced or if you have the ability. Like, is it like is that setup the same I think I saw a screw in one of the videos where you pulled the bolt out. So it's a screw now in the back, and then are you still swapping valves manually with a
Yeah,
little bar, a little retaining
no.
bar?
So one of the things that I think has been a real synergy between Jared and me from the beginning of Method has been that we both kind of have a design philosophy that basically sees elegance and parsimony. So the simplest way to do something is the most desirable. And so, like you said, it's cool when it works, but getting it to work requires you to, rub your head and pat your stomach or
Sure.
whatever other impossible task. So, stepping back, we knew that we wanted a very direct approach to doing frame swaps, and we actually looked to the shocker for that solution. So the shocker already had a pretty cool, frame mount solution that nobody else had really been using, and it's a single frame screw at the back. And
Yeah.
so
So it's
this
okay.
this gun has one frame screw at the back, and the solenoid and all the critical electronics come out with the frame. So it's
Sick.
literally just
So
pull
you're
this
number
frame off, put one
so you're
screw
number one
in,
now.
done.
So you guys are the king of the frame swap. You're one screw, and you don't have to switch your stuff. Like it's there you go. You've your first place. You've done it.
Thank
You
you.
don't. There's not.
Well,
There's not like a There's not like a dummy board you have to install or something in there. There's not like a nothing like that. Like a fake board. Take out like the front grate. Nothing weird. Okay, sounds good.
That's a that's an odd recommendation. Where have you seen that? I'm
You
curious.
know what? I can't remember. It must be some crazy fucking Polish thing 100 years ago. Some Rube Goldberg machine frame swap going on over there. I So that rocks. Okay. I mean, so this is me just as a regular consumer, right? Just as a guy who's gonna buy one, which is they fixed everything I didn't like. Cocker threads and rag adjustment and eye ribbons, and the frame swap is now easier and better. Is it a new is it a new valve for the mech to go with this new end, or is it still the turbo valve? It feels like it would be the same since it's self timing to a degree or to the full degree, right? Is it the same valve for mech?
I doubt it will be the same embodiment, but it will be the
Sure.
same internal technology.
Okay. I I guess my only other question about the platform itself is it seems like that little primer, that little doodad in the back, is doing a lot of work, and it's all driven by a very specific little spring back there. So is there going to be some interplay between springs and performance? You know what I mean? Are you going to release a little spring kit? We're going to have springs. We're going to be doing spring stuff.
so there is a spring rate that you want to function the marker as optimally as you can in whatever case and scenario. If you go lower than that or zero, there's some effects on the gun, like operating
Yeah,
pressure and things like that.
sure. Yeah, badass.
Maybe at a sacrifice on cold weather shooting or fast
Cool.
rates of fire or stuff like that.
Great.
But tinkering
Love
is
it.
always supported.
But it's something that exists. Whereas, like, for example, a gamma core, it's like, what can you do? Right? Like, you know, it's pretty locked down. So there's some fun to be had in the future, it seems.
Definitely.
There's actually a lot of fun to be had. So one of the key features is the back of the primary valve. So we always called the primer the pusher. Um, so
I'm
if you're
glad the
familiar
marketing
with
department, stepped in on that one. Yeah, that's good.
no,
The
it's
pusher core. Yeah, very cool.
no, it comes from dude. So if you've ever heard of Mitch Hedberg, right? So he had
Sure.
the Appliance Naming Institute convention. So you say what it does and add ER to the end. Well, it pushes stuff,
Sure.
so it's a pusher, right? So I'm not very creative like that. But that being said, the part in front of that, the main firing valve, has three O-rings on the back.
Yeah.
And someone actually asked this online what those O-rings do. So the front one is actually throttling your bolt speed. The middle
Sure.
one is the main on off, and the rear one is the exhaust control.
Okay.
So even in that one component, we have the ability to very specifically tune the bolt speed,
Wow.
which will give you a significantly different shot profile. So it's possible that the aftermarket can kind of play with bolt speed in addition to spring combination. So the
Man.
spring will probably be less of a big deal
Then the three O
as a
rings, really
standalone than those
interesting.
three O-rings. Yeah. So
So,
there's a lot of tunability left in this system.
so did you? I'm sure you had to optimize for. I guess probably paint handling was the objective initially, right? So what did you leave on the table to accomplish that? Like, I guess nobody cares about speed, right? But if you could have done it for yourself, would it have materialized in a different way, like without any oversight, or is this kind of where you would have landed as well?
I I mean, Jared may feel differently, but yeah, nobody cares about speed. Paint handling was up there. Um, I do find it interesting that some of the other guns or markers that um, advertise or heavily market themselves as being, soft shooting, have an SFR. Well, in cold weather, in order to get it to cycle, you have to crank the SFR up,
Yeah,
effectively negating the very reason you bought the gun.
sure,
And so what we wanted to do is say, no, let's make it have that shot no matter what the environment is.
sure.
Let's make it where you get what you paid for, and in all conditions, it will give you optimum paint handling and the soft shot.
So
So that
are
was
you
really
gonna
the goal.
so are you gonna personally guarantee that these guns are gonna shoot paint without blowing it up?
Where do we get the
I
PO
have,
number? And
yeah, that's
Sure. Yeah.
1-800 No, so we have already experienced this. So Jared had it out at TXR this last weekend, and other other markers that have the same
Just say it, John.
reliability claims.
Say the name. Say it.
Well, so non-method gamma cores were blowing paint to smithereens,
Sure.
and this was shooting it just fine. So that's interesting because really the method core uh, for the gamma based platform that
Yeah.
Lux had in the Shocker, really the goal of that was to address paint handling.
Sure.
So we have introduced good paint handling to Lux, and this
I
doubles
guess that's
down on that
true. Yeah.
pedigree.
So
So
I think, unfortunately, I have to ask you this question now to verify that you're not posers, right? Because it sounds nice. Like I think there's like the JT Triad, for instance. You know what I mean? Like you have some committee make you a hopper. They're not playing P-ball though, and you get a weirdo hopper that takes 10 revisions to actually work, right? It's you're hiring consultants, you're hiring Porsche design, right? What given that you have this kind of background in tinkering with little things, you've got, Bob Donuts, you got G6R bolts, you got, you did those axe poppets. What other little things have you done? Little bits and bobs. You've done, a lot of Intimidator stuff, right?
yeah,
Right.
DSR bolts,
What?
R5 valves,
Yeah, you did DSR stuff.
Vortex
So what
engines.
would you, in the past, like if you could go back to 2007 and it's now new designs, CP, and method, you know what I mean? FBM, you're one of the, Evolve. You're one of those five guys now, right? You're having a good time. What would you have released back then for something?
That's hard to say because I was probably an idiot back then, I don't.
But now, but I mean, well, John was doing it because I had an irony bolt for my NT. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like John was walking the walk. He was doing it, you know.
Yeah.
But Jerod, I don't know about. I think
I was
you might
shooting
be
a
a
lot and
poser.
building a lot. I was actually making triggers back then, carbon fiber triggers.
Hey, stay off my partner, man.
Yeah. Uh, I was more interested back then in building cars, so I was building a lot of cars back then.
Jerod, please, you gotta just say, you know. And here's the thing: I'll give you the layup.
Mm.
You know, just say you would have made impulse accessories, right? Because you're a smart parts guy now. You just did the Lux, right?
Back then, yeah, well, back
Yeah.
then I was a
Hmm.
Timmy guy, so I shot a lot of
Oh,
Timmys, Angels
okay?
as
Better
well,
answer.
so stack
Great.
tubes, a lot
Okay.
of stack tubes.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. There it goes. There it is.
yeah.
That's you would have
Uh,
made some angel stuff, right?
I would have made. I think I did. I
Did
think no,
you?
I made
I
no,
mean,
I made a DM6 bolt. That I never
what
sold,
was it?
but I did make one.
Can you tell me about it?
Oh, it was nothing crazy. It was the
Did you
actual
put
bolt itself is
did you put some
delving.
tape on the back? Did you just top hat mod a DM6 bolt and call it a Jared bolt?
No, I changed the porting in it. I changed
Okay.
the material of it. Uh, it made it shoot. I don't know. In that gun, it made it shoot pretty soft, pretty pillowy.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
just the material change in the bolt.
So I
Just
guess
tinkering.
let me rephrase this question.
Mhm.
Knowing what you know now, you know, transported back to 2007.
Yeah,
What would you be excited to make in that landscape where there's 50 different gun companies now? You know what I mean?
yeah. I would probably, being back then, I was so into stack tubes. I'd probably be making a new stack tube of some sort.
Yeah. You would have.
That's probably what I'd have been doing. Uh,
Okay.
I hated all the the clear tubes and the Timmies and all that kind of crap, and
Okay. That's
probably
fair. I mean, I guess I know John's answer, right? Just would have done more die
would have been
bullshit,
like, I'm
you
working on
know.
the axe or
Right.
something.
Yeah. We're gonna fucking invert
No,
mini.
dude.
Gen 1.
I
Yeah.
actually think, well, so you mentioned the NT bolt. So I think Jack and I were possibly working on what became the Gamma Core actually around that time period. So,
Sick. Well, there. I guess there you go. Yeah. Because you weren't messing with like, you know, Pumas and these Phantoms and shit, right? Like you weren't doing like weirdo, you know, late '90s guns, right?
bro, so like I got into like, I think in order to be, competent at anything, you have to make an honest appraisal of where the industry has come from, like so
Sure.
kind of a grassroots thing. And so I've always been fascinated with all the obscure paintball markers, which is kind of
Sure.
interesting about your YouTube channel. You seem to have, gravitated towards some of those bizarre
Right.
things, but like
That's what I like too. Yeah. I think it's
I
interesting.
always thought like the Zap guns with the the original lever valve was super cool. The Zap ZXS 600E. I thought, the rotary breech concept was kind of cool. The trap
Yeah.
door and the ice,
The Epic.
epic,
Yeah.
right? So all these like weird so the landscape back then is there was no clarity on what problem we're actually trying to solve, right? So it's
Sure.
just shoot the ball however you
Right.
want to. And as the industry has kind of matured, that's why I think there tends to be more, homogeny across designs.
Yeah.
Is that we've kind of gained clarity on what the actual problems that need to be solved are.
I
So,
mean,
so
you're right.
paint
There's
handling,
only,
we talked about it.
yeah, because there's only one nail gun. There's only one impact driver design. You know what I mean? Like eventually we reach the end of the road, right? So, do you think we're there? Do you think the Luxe Aire is the end of the road? Do you think you've beaten paintball final boss? You've done it. The last paintball gun ever made.
I think that I think it'll be hard to give any objective measures that'll be better than.
Boo, boo, no, boo. Real answer.
I
Just
think it
let's
becomes
hear it.
personal. Like
Yeah,
everything
sure,
will now become more personalized. So I think that that's the next frontier, which I think
sure.
you would appreciate, is I think we move more into how do we allow you to, you know, make your mark on the platform.
Yeah.
So
Modular
it's
paintball gun,
customization.
right? Just frames it. Yeah.
That's where my mind would go, is that's the next
Interesting.
frontier.
I mean, so what is that? Because you guys did the method era. You did, in fact, do a true private label, gun. And in the name of modularity and customization, I mean, I think, of course, we'd all like to see like a method air. That would be sick. But what's like your top three, like all time? Because I'll tell you, I think it's Shock Tech SFT, Excessive '05 Ego, and like Species Intimidator. I think that's like three.
X, X, X.
Axe, axe, axe. Nomec axe, Pyro axe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Got an axe up there right now. John, go first. I think I know
That
John's, but
that one right there that Jared got for me, of which I've actually never seen one in person until he
What?
sent that
What?
over.
I can't
It's
see it. I'm
it's a
sorry.
it's a Gen 4 Intimidator, the Ripper 3
Yeah. Ripper.
body.
Okay. Right. Classic.
So
Right.
yeah, that's just a kind of a unicorn, and it actually has a lurker poppet and stuff in
Sick.
it. So yeah,
I mean,
that
those
one's
those,
pretty
those
cool.
control freaks, like those Gen 4 lurker poppets, were pretty sick, to be honest.
I'm a
I mean,
big
I
fan of that, and not really custom. Well, it is custom, but I really liked the Exalt droid that almost nobody knows about.
yeah.
So
No, no.
so
Well, yeah, because
there's
there was like
one.
12. So okay, Exalt Droid, deep cut, very cool, very cultural
Yeah,
pick. Oh yeah,
yeah, and outside of those two,
sure,
we'll
okay.
just leave a
You can just say
blank.
Pyroax. That's fine. Okay, no problem.
Sure.
yeah. If you want to place, and it's not necessarily for like because it's better or something, just maybe
Okay,
more memento behind it or something.
sure. Okay,
I would say probably a Angel IR3
classic.
classic, no eyes, a 2K5 Dragon Timmy,
Got
because
it. Okay, sure. Classic.
and then
Here comes the curveball. He's gonna say something crazy now. It's gonna be a gun that came out 2 years ago.
no, I don't have any nothing like
A
that.
Westwood. Did you like the Westwood?
Boo, boo.
You
Well, I
don't like
did.
that?
Well, I was never a Westwood guy. I was like a bone break guy because I feel like it had that same kind of lower tube, bulbous kind of scalloping a little bit, but better. I was a bone break guy. And then the Westwood, I was never, I don't think I was there. I was shooting like ICD when like cockers were going on. Like I was a B2K guy.
Mhm.
So I was pretty detached from E-blades and cocker culture for a long, long time.
Same.
Right. I was shooting Bushmasters. So and then it was Bob's. So I never really was a Planet guy, like that whole progression. So Westwoods don't mean anything to me. I mean, unfortunately, it's the die reflex. It's the reflex cocker is the best auto cocker body. Unfortunately.
Is that not what the Naughty Dog's Intimidator without the paw print is called?
Oh, the Hellwood, the Hellwood
Oh,
into yeah,
Hellwood. I'm sorry. That's
yeah,
what I
baby.
meant. That's what I thought he
But you
was
knew
talking
it.
about.
But you knew it though. Yeah, the hell. If Jared dropped the Hellwood right now, that would have been sick.
That would be funny.
I
Well, my third is probably what I thought back then was like my first like big boy gun, and that was the
yeah.
DM6. The DM6 was
Well,
my first big boy.
it's every. I mean, right. I mean, is there? I mean, what a high compliment, right? If the air is this generation's DM6, I think that's the watermark we're shooting for, right? Like,
I have
I mean, I know.
yeah, I've never liked a current gun as much
No.
as this one. Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
And I know you've worked with a lot of the big players at this point. Pretty much the whole gambit you've run. Was this, you know, everyone's happy, everybody got paid, and everyone's feeling good. We can celebrate the air, and as consumers, we can ethically consume it. Correct? Like you guys had a good time, and everything was good.
Uh, all the guys at DLX have been amazing to work with.
Okay.
So I know there's a lot of like colored history for
Well,
every paintball manufacturer ever to
well,
exist.
also specific,
Yeah.
you
So,
know,
but I can
Jared and
tell
I
you,
cannot directly confirm that the cases for
I
this
wouldn't
new
ask.
gun are not made in Dave Chappelle's, pantry shoe locker place.
oh,
So,
Here's the thing: I would never ask you to weigh in on, whether number of ports in a barrel is a good patent to have. If barrel, you know what? We don't need to get into it. I think they've have they served their time. You know what I mean? Are we ready to welcome them back into the light even after what happened to my sweet beautiful ICD, my sweet beautiful AKA? I guess
yeah.
sure. We don't need to weigh in on it, but
So I can tell
I
you,
like
like
them.
coming, like in any other industry outside of this one,
Yeah,
IP is not considered something wrongful to go after. So I am used to being on both sides of that coin,
very
like
true.
both the receiving
Honestly,
side and the sending side of that through
hmm
the last 15 years of real industries, and to me, it's like it's business on my on that part. So
yeah.
I don't
I mean,
probably
it's
agree with most of paintball industry because it affects people differently than oil
sure.
and gas or nuclear or something like that. But I can tell you personally, the guys there at DLX are very nice, very giving, very understanding,
Yeah,
like real, just normal people. If you sat down next to them, just
yeah.
normal people you talk to.
I mean, which I guess you can't really say about some of these places, right? That they're nice people. So that's good. You know.
Yeah. Uh,
I mean, it sounds like you do have a good relationship, and since this one was kind of ground up, do you think that leaves any wiggle room for you to do like a nerve? You know what I mean? Because I think the impulse that ship has sailed, like that's gone to JT, right? Like could they even do an impulse again? I think we redo the nerve. Do we make a call?
just go ahead and
for
yell at
Nick,
them.
by Nick.
Just it's like, hey guys, I've got a crazy
Uh,
idea. You know, as you can
A
see
one-off.
by the Cyborg X still being in stock, huge demand for stacked tube guns right now going on still. LV2 Pro, people are going crazy. The new Cyborg X going crazy. That new Intimidator from Field One that released at Cup. People love the stack tube stuff, right? So I guess yeah, jump right on that.
Yeah.
When will it
John
end? When
has.
when will you
there,
give me what I want, John and Jerod? Please.
there was just a hint of sarcasm in
Yeah.
Yeah,
all of that. So
who's to say?
that was my like autism check. I don't.
Yeah. So
It's
we're not
sad
going to
because
give any
I
secrets away, but
well,
obviously we're trying to bring new things to a lot of people.
I mean I feel pretty good because we did get a lot of cool G6 Star stuff from you guys, so that scratches an itch. I feel pretty good. You know what I mean? If nothing else, the guys that made the Air made some parts for the G6R, which is very cool. Um, love that. And it's like, how does your time work with Smart Parts now? Was that kind of just like a contract job, and now you're kind of just out into the ether? You're kind of waiting for the next thing to land. Big things coming soon from the Method Boys, 2026. Do we know?
I would say, like everyone else, a relationship doesn't just terminate.
Sure,
There's always stuff that people want, no matter who you are, right? So we're trying to build
Jared,
a yeah.
please. Okay, yeah. I mean, but this felt like this took up a lot of your 2025. Like you
For
did
sure.
barrels, you did the Method barrel, of course,
Hmm.
and then what else did you do this year, personally, as Method the firm?
Oh, a
Um,
lot of small stuff,
small
really.
stuff, right? But it felt like that was,
Yeah,
the Air was your big thing for 2025. Do you have a big thing for 2026?
for sure.
Okay, sick. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. And
See you
we
there. Yeah,
released some
cool.
like
Oh, yeah.
teasers of a medium sized thing, and that was the our tank reg, which we're trying to
Oh
finalize
yeah,
things. Yeah,
I would even call that a big thing. That's a medium plus thing,
it's big for
given the
us
mark.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you I mean, is there anything else you'd want to do if given the opportunity? And just personally as method development team, like you want to do a mask, like you want to do a barrel swab. You know what I mean? Like what's the next personal project? Do you think? Tank reg, not to take away from tank reg because it's very hot right now, and I'm tired of these fucking power pucks. You know what I mean? So you know, can't wait for a new tank reg. Sounds great.
Tank rig is a big one. Um, there's another probably bigger than anything we've done yet outside of the marker. Yeah,
Okay.
for next year, but I won't
We don't
spill
need to
any
get into it.
beans. Yeah,
I'm just excited. I'm coasting off the air. I'm just feeling really, I'm feeling really good. Feels
you
nice.
got that air in your
Feeling
lungs.
really high on the air.
Yeah.
Feeling high in the air, soaring through it, as they say, right? Like it's,
Yeah.
The next marker, the
yeah,
helium. Just kidding.
right. I think it's cool.
Sells itself,
It's
man.
because and I guess to kind of bring it full circle, I'll let you guys get back to it. You've given me an hour of your time here. I really liked, my 1.0, 2.0. And then I actually really liked the TM40. It blew up paint, but it was light and it was small. You know what I mean? It was nice. So it feels good to be back to the Luxe. I like that it's a player. I like that it's, Cocker and Power and, it's all these like I think it's easy to switch, right? It's cheaper than everybody and is more compelling. Like it's an established, pedigree brand. You know, like what's the elevator pitch on buying an Air? So here's your commercial. You can play it now on my YouTube channel, which is buy one. It's great on paint. Is that it?
No, no, no.
Is that
It's
our thing?
let's go. Okay, and that's it.
You forgot to stick your tongue out, dude.
Yeah. Listen, leave Mark alone. He was so nice to me. I play a little college ball. I
Dude,
played a
he's a
little.
stud.
Yeah, he rocks. He always had a sick tent. When he was still like heat pressing the letters on the headbands. When we were at NCPL, like in college, like that's like my one that I still wear is my Mark Crescent heat press little Fun Guns Buff headband, right? Like, yeah. Yeah, you got to do a legend. You need a method legend then, I guess. Join the ranks, HK legend, method legend, make your own gun. You got to do something, right? It feels like we're on the moon shoot here. Like we're getting, this is some good inertia that's breaking over for method, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to shoot an Air. I will buy one, and then I will make a YouTube video on it. And
We'll shit on it. Just kidding.
and I'm gonna call it a big piece of shit. Unfortunately, no one's ever made a good paintball gun. Unfortunately, is what I've learned. No one's ever made a good one in the history of paintball guns. There's always something. So I'm excited to see how close we got to being a good paintball gun.
Dang. Not even good, man. Like you didn't say great. Nobody's ever made a great or a perfect paintball gun.
No
Your
one's ever made it
bar
perfect.
is
It is because for me, I think that reliability is the least sexy thing that you can optimize for. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why people like in the, what's your favorite car conversation? That's why everybody says Volvo. You know what I mean? It's the safest one. Very cool.
Didn't yours get a shot
No, nobody gives a fuck.
for some reason?
I had a rat attack on my Volvo, unfortunately. I think any car would have fallen victim to the rat attack,
Maybe.
so you say that, and I drive a Honda because it's optimized for reliability. So,
Well, okay,
touche,
sure.
sir.
I guess, everyone likes S2000. They've also got a cool Honda.
Oh, I have a cool Honda. It's a Ridgeline.
That actually is a cool. I didn't realize you were from Florida, John. I thought you were also. Let's see. Well, gentlemen, is there anything you want to leave? Is there any little end cap you want to put on this here? I feel pretty good about what I've gleaned on the Air. I'm excited to try it. I think let's do a recap. Every single thing that people hated about the Lux, you rectified. Every single thing. Across all generations, past 15 years of Luxes, you fixed every single thing. It's cheaper than every current offering. It is the mech champ, the quickest swap with, if it's even just as good as the idle number one mech, easily. It's a new drivetrain. It's novel. We've got a novel drivetrain. It's not fucking boring, right? Like that's, it's good on paint. Is it quiet? Is it quieter than the idle? Is it a joy to shoot?
It's substantially quieter than the
There it
idle.
is. That's a winner.
That's the first thing when someone grabs it and I hand it to them, they go, bro. Like it's like the same thing every time. It's like, holy crap, it's the same thing every time.
All
If
right.
if you look on my YouTube channel, there's a short clip of me handing the gun to one of the Stockholm Joy Division guys,
Okay.
and his initial reaction, basically proves that this is what we say it is.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I think it's easy to hype up your own product, right? I get it. So I guess time will tell. We'll get every paintball guy doing a big efficiency test video when it drops. We'll see if it breaks a bunch of fucking paint. We'll see if it's the fucking DLS and ANS. You know what I mean? Just blowing shit up in the parking lot. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes. Yeah,
So
the
there
Lux is
there is one
back.
thing that we didn't touch on, and that's
Oh boy.
this isn't just a method, right, thing. It's DLX too. So it's their
Sure.
product for one, but two,
Well,
they did a majority of the testing and
boo.
things like
Too
that.
polite. Boo. No one cares.
Boo.
Boo.
I just want you to know that
Boo.
like Ryan over there and Hans just try to break shit, right? They're just
Well,
constantly trying to break shit. And
okay.
it took a couple of revisions on a few of the items to like figure it out. Like, and here's how harsh it is, right? They'll take this gun, and I tell people this in person. They'll take this gun, hook it up to shop air, and shoot it until it breaks. Like million cycles, yeah, it's just
So,
gonna take.
you know what? I see what you're doing here. What you're telling me is that some testing in QC was done on the
Just
marker
a
before you're
little,
going to
just a
sell it.
little, yeah.
I see.
And not only that
Cool.
is stuff that John and I probably would never catch to electronics
Yeah.
stuff. They'll have 10 variations of the same part, test them all to figure out which
Yeah.
one is the best, right? And there's times that we've made 6 of the same part to interchange and figure out which one's the best, right? They're
Yeah.
putting in hours and time, suggestions, design changes, stuff like that too. So it really is it sounds stupid, it really is a team effort, but
Yeah.
they put in a lot of hours to make sure the air is reliable and not just new, right? So those are two separate things.
But I don't want to discount it. It is also new. Let's not diminish how new it is. There's a lot going on. And I think I'm excited because normally you get one or two changes, per generation, right? Like this is a big swing. So
Sometimes zero.
I'm rooting for him. I'm only antagonizing one company right now that I hope fails, but all the rest I hope, flourish and have a nice time, including
Yeah,
DLX.
for sure.
Let's see. Let me look through my notes. Let's see. Self-time systems take well independence and remove the solenoid's impact on cycle time. Like I don't need to, nobody, it's interesting for me for sure. But
So
how many?
electronic dwell does change the engine, not in the way you think though, not in a.
You're right. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't. Do you think? Are you going to make an animation so we can put it on ZDS? You know what I mean, and have that in there?
We can talk to
Because I think
DLX and see if
I'm not, but they've said that they're working on it, and I don't know how long it'll be before we get one. But the
okay.
intention is to provide an animation.
Okay. I would like that. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to hit, which is, and I've seen some of the content that you've put out, which is, for me, which I know is not valuable, but I think is a mindset that a lot of people probably share. You take that engine out, you take it apart. I'm looking at that stem, and immediately it's giving, DSR, it's giving, GL, you know what I mean? But then you get to the back half and it's not. But it's not that, as we know, because of the pusher. So, again, I'm not interested in getting into technical details because nobody cares. You know what I mean? Do gun, shoot good? Like, yes, it sounds like. So, I think
Yeah,
it's a more holistic, vibe-based approach to the Luxe Aire is what I'm,
I
trying to hit
think
here.
I'm gonna maybe John is infinitely familiar, and maybe since I am a lesser human at this stuff, maybe I can appeal to the masses more.
Yeah, give me a
So
bolt
you
dagger.
do
Give me a
this,
bolt.
okay, right?
Okay.
You
Yeah.
show a guy this, you go, oh, that's not DSR. You go, oh, DSR, because this little bitty nib, right? It's those two differences, right? This
Sure.
is not a DSR bolt, right? But I think if you have a valve and a 17 O-ring, it's going to come out looking something the same on
Sure.
the front side. So if you seal on the ID of a bolt and the ID of a can, it's going to come out looking similar. But the whole backside of that is
It's all.
completely changed, different.
Yeah.
So the DSR, when it launched, had those square ports, and everybody said, "Looks like a Lux Ice." So it's the low
We're back,
IQ.
right?
X had sex with Y, and this is its
Wow. Full
bastard
circle.
offspring. So yeah,
Thank you, John. I
we're
love
back
that.
where we started.
That's a good bookend. There we go. Wow. Poetry.
Poetry. Oh.
Well, gentlemen, we just eclipsed 1 hour, so I appreciate you dedicating some time. I'm going to maybe I'll wait till HK does one or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to buy a cool one. Unfortunately, I would love for you to have your first day sales numbers. You know what I mean? But I don't want to buy a stock one, so I'm not, unfortunately. But once I do, you know, we'll have to do this again and we'll go through it. But I'm excited to see the rollout on this. Everyone seems excited. Um, good luck, Godspeed. Go Lux.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
I
I'll
appreciate
chat
you
with you
guys.
in 5 minutes. All right, see
All
you
right.
later.
Yeah, I'll text you in a minute. Right.
Okay.
I'll see
All
you.
right, dude. See you.